There comes a time in the journey of the chosen ones when separation from the world is no longer optional, it becomes a divine requirement. This separation is not punishment, it is preparation. When God, the universe, or higher consciousness selects you for a calling, it often begins with the call to isolation. This is not merely physical solitude, it is spiritual alignment through silence, withdrawal, and internal reflection. The period of August 7th to 10th, 2025, carries an energetic frequency that demands the chosen ones to pull away from all noise, distraction, and chaos. It is during these rare moments of cosmic alignment that true transformation takes place, and not in the crowd, not in the chaos, but in the quiet corners where your spirit can finally breathe without interference. When you isolate yourself with purpose, something begins to shift in the unseen realms. The chatter of the world dies down, and you begin to hear the whispers of divine direction. In the quiet, clarity comes. You begin to see the patterns of your past, the alignments of your present, and the revelations of your future. You are no longer influenced by the doubts and projections of others, because in isolation, your only company is truth. The veil begins to lift, and the fog that once blurred your vision starts to clear. This is why divine isolation is not simply a choice, it's a necessity. It opens you to revelations that cannot be downloaded while you are plugged into the world's distractions. There are messages meant for your spirit that are only transmitted in silence. Many people fear being alone because they associate solitude with loneliness. But for the chosen ones, solitude is sacred. It is a sanctuary. During this window in August, the energies surrounding you are calling you inward. This is not the time to be socially available or emotionally entangled. This is a consecrated period of divine alignment where your soul must recalibrate without interference. You have been asking for answers, seeking direction, and praying for miracles. But these things are not delivered in noisy, they arrive in the stillness. Just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to catch the signal, your spirit must be tuned through isolation to catch divine instructions. You are not being asked to stay alone for no reason. This is not random. This is sacred orchestration. Many breakthroughs are missed not because the chosen one is unworthy, but because they are too distracted. Opportunities pass silently, while the mind is busy with external noise. The universe does not always announce itself loudly, it often speaks softly, requiring intentional listening. Between August 7th and 10th, the cosmic frequency is heightened. It's like a spiritual radio station playing a message just for you, but you must be alone, quiet, and spiritually attentive to hear it. This is why divine isolation unlocks supernatural alignment. The universe is not punishing you by pulling you away, it is positioning you. It is placing you in an environment where you can be downloaded with strategies, revelations, and divine timing. There is a shift coming, one that requires you to be mentally ready, spiritually focused, and emotionally cleansed. This cannot be done when you are entangled with the energy of others. Energetic interference will dilute divine instruction. You must disconnect to reconnect. You must retreat to receive. For the chosen ones, this kind of divine reset is not new, but this time, it is urgent. You are on the verge of something major. The timing of the solitude is strategic. You may have already been feeling the urge to pull away, to be alone, to detach. That's not depression, that's divine instruction. The spirit is guiding you into alignment by way of isolation. In this sacred solitude, old wounds will rise, not to hurt you, but to heal you. You'll be shown visions not just of who you are, but of who you must become. That distractions that once seemed harmless will now be revealed as hindrances. You will begin to sense the people, habits, and thoughts that no longer serve your elevation. And in that awareness, a supernatural clarity will wash over you. You will start to feel lighter, clearer, and more focused, and not because anything outside changed, but because your internal alignment shifted. This internal shift is what prepares you for the external blessing. Divine alignment happens inside before it manifests outside. During this period, expect signs, expect dreams that speak clearly, expect repeated numbers, synchronicities, and intuitive nudges. Expect your sleep patterns to change, your appetite to shift, your emotions to fluctuate. These are not coincidences, they are signs of divine alignment. The universe is cleansing your vessel to prepare you for a greater filling, and just like a vessel cannot be filled until it is emptied, you must be emptied of noise, confusion, and external influence before divine direction can take root. The silence you sit in will become the soil where your next miracle grows. And that growth, that breakthrough, that elevation requires you to first be still. People may not understand why you suddenly pull away. Friends might question your absence. The world may label your withdrawal as antisocial or strange. But remember, they are not tuned into the frequency you are. They are not assigned to your calling. Not everyone will understand what you are doing, but that is okay. This part of your journey is not for validation, it is for activation. You are being activated in the sacred window. You are being aligned with your divine timeline. You are being given the spiritual equipment necessary for your next assignment. All of this starts in solitude. All of this starts when you obey the call to be still and alone. There is a weight of glory that cannot be carried by a distracted soul. There is an instruction from God, from the universe, that requires full spiritual attention. These instructions are only released when the soul is quiet, the mind is clear, and the heart is open. That is the purpose of divine isolation. Not to make you feel empty, but to make space. The chosen ones must understand that space is not a void, it is a vessel. And what feels like emptiness is preparation for fulfillment. You are not being left behind, you are being set apart. Set apart to hear what others cannot hear, see what others cannot see, and manifest what others cannot manifest. The period between August 7th to 10th, 2025, is not just another set of dates on the calendar, it is a divine portal, an energetic gateway that has been prophesied in many forms, hidden in spiritual codes, and now revealed to the chosen ones. During these days, a unique spiritual alignment will occur that creates a rare opportunity for accelerated manifestation. But this gateway is not open to everyone. It is reserved for those who are spiritually tuned, mentally awake, and energetically clean. The chosen ones, those who have been called, refined through trials, and separated from the masses, are the only ones capable of walking through this invisible doorway. The universe is opening itself to those who have been waiting, fasting, praying, and preparing, and not to give them what they want, but what they are truly ready to receive. This is a season of divine exchange, but it requires stillness, purity of intent, and unwavering focus. Manifestation is not magic, it is the alignment of thought, emotion, and vibration with divine timing. The reason many fail to manifest what they truly desire is not because they lack belief, but because they are out of sync with the spiritual timelines. The universe does not respond to panic, desperation, or chaotic energy. It responds to clarity, surrender, and readiness. Between the 7th and 10th of August, there will be a thinning of the veil between the physical and spiritual realms. The energies that usually take months or years to produce results will be compressed into a few days. This is why it is called a gateway, because the spiritual laws will operate on an accelerated frequency. What you sow in intention, belief, and vibration during this window will have the potential to manifest rapidly if done in alignment. During this time, the chosen ones are being instructed to stay alone not as a means of isolation for suffering, but as a strategy for creation. Being alone creates an energetic vacuum that blocks external influences and sharpens internal clarity. It is in this vacuum that manifestation becomes more precise. The environment is everything. Manifesting in a noisy, chaotic, emotionally unstable space dilutes the power of focused intention. But when a chosen one chooses to be still, to quiet the distractions, and to operate from within, the clarity of thought merges with the divine frequency of the universe. That merge is where manifestation is born. It is the seed being planted in the perfect soil, under the perfect light, with the perfect alignment. And just like in nature, growth is inevitable when all these conditions are met. The reason these specific dates are significant is because of the cosmic alignments occurring during this period. There are planetary shifts, lunar transitions, and energetic recalibrations that only happen once in a very long time. These cosmic elements act like divine ingredients in a supernatural recipe. If you miss the timing, you miss the manifestation. But if you align yourself, honor the silence, and focus your energy intentionally, you step into co-creation with forces beyond your understanding. This is not about manifesting material things alone here. This is about manifesting destiny, purpose, healing, restoration, clarity, and direction. Many people think manifestation is about things, but the chosen ones know that real manifestation is about becoming. To become who you were created to be, you must first release who the world told you to be. And this release can only happen in silence. It can only happen when your soul is uninterrupted by the opinions, expectations, and energies of others. That's why this window requires separation. Manifestation during this period is not casual, it is sacred. You must treat your thoughts like prayers. Every word, every vision, every emotion must be filtered through intention. You are not just hoping during these days, you are declaring. You are not just wishing, you are aligning. This kind of manifestation requires spiritual discipline, not emotional indulgence. You must guard your thoughts, guard your energy, guard your focus, because in this portal, what you feel deeply, believe firmly, and see clearly has the power to become real. Many of you have been carrying visions for years, dreams, ideas, destinies that felt too far away, too impossible, or too delayed. This portal is not just a new opportunity, it is a reset. It is a divine restart button being offered to those who are ready. But readiness is not shown through words, it is proven through alignment. That means fasting from distractions, cleansing your space, being intentional with your prayers, writing your vision, speaking your desires into the spiritual atmosphere. It means creating a sacred environment for divine partnership to take place. This is not about being religious, it's about being in rhythm with the divine. Energy speaks before words ever do. The energy you carry into these days will determine what you take out of them. If you enter this portal with confusion, bitterness, and emotional noise, you block your own access. But if you walk in with humility, clarity, and openness, you activate the power of the portal. This is the moment where spiritual principles become personal. The theory of manifestation becomes a lived experience. The chosen ones are not just watching this shift, they are being called to lead it, to manifest not just for themselves, but for generations after them. What you manifest in this window has the power to ripple through time, impacting people and purposes beyond your imagination. This is why you must be intentional about what you think, feel, and focus on during these dates. No idle thoughts, no careless energy, no wasted emotions. Everything must serve the vision. Everything must feed the alignment. The divine portal is sensitive, not to your perfection, but to your focus. You do not need to be perfect to manifest. You need to be aligned in spirit, aligned in thought, aligned in vibration. Alignment is what turns delay into acceleration, silence into answers, and waiting into winning. You are not manifesting alone. You are manifesting in partnership with the divine, the creator, the source, the universe. Whatever you call it is not distant during this window. It is near. It is listening. It is watching your intent, your focus, your posture. That's why distractions will suddenly intensify before these dates. Emotional triggers, unnecessary drama, unexpected obligations may rise. This is not coincidence. It is a spiritual test, that distractions are trying to pull you away from the portal, because if you stay aligned, the breakthrough is inevitable. So protect your energy, protect your routine, protect your space. Do not explain your solitude to people who aren't called to your purpose. You are not being antisocial. You are being prophetic. You are not being distant. You are being disciplined. Manifestation requires that level of focus. It requires that level of obedience. You can't afford to let anyone pull you out of alignment during the most powerful spiritual gateway of the year. Silence is not emptiness for the chosen ones. It is sacred ground. It is where the deepest truths rise to the surface, where divine instructions become audible, and where spiritual power is awakened. The world thrives on noise, chaos, and constant movement. But those who are called for a higher purpose are trained in stillness. During the sacred window of August 7th to 10th, 2025, silence, obedience, and focus are not suggestions, so they are spiritual requirements. This short window carries an intense spiritual frequency that cannot be accessed by those who are scattered in thought, impulsive in emotion, or distracted in spirit. To unlock the breakthrough that has been reserved for this portal, the chosen ones must step into a space of intentional quietness. This is not just about muting the world outside. It's about silencing the doubts within, calming the inner storms, and tuning into the frequency of divine instruction. Obedience is a spiritual currency. In the realm of manifestation and breakthrough, it is not enough to simply desire change. You must align your behavior, your thoughts, and your decisions with divine direction. The instructions for elevation rarely make sense to the logical mind. They often come in quiet nudges, deep inner knowing, or unexplained pulls towards solitude and discipline. The chosen ones are being asked to obey the call to separate, to pull away, to be still, not because of fear or escape, but because the spiritual system is trying to download something specific. Obedience is how you position yourself for supernatural acceleration. It is through obedience that hidden doors are revealed, supernatural timing is activated, and divine assistance is released. Between these dates, obedience isn't about religion, it's about rhythm. The rhythm of heaven is different from the rhythm of the world, and to access that rhythm, you must be willing to surrender your pace for divine timing. Focus is the final pillar of breakthrough. Without focus, power is diluted. The chosen ones are given access to divine energy, but that energy must be channeled. Focus determines the direction of energy. When your focus is scattered, your power leaks. When your focus is sharp, your spirit becomes a laser of intention. Between August 7th and 10th, the level of focus required is not casual, it is militant. Every distraction is an enemy of your destiny. Every moment spent in unnecessary drama or mindless consumption pulls you out of alignment. This kind of spiritual season demands that your vision be fixed on the unseen, your heart be anchored in truth, and your mind be guarded like a sacred temple. You cannot afford to be accessible to everyone during these days. You cannot afford to be mentally and emotionally available to energy that is not serving your assignment. Silence, obedience, and focus work together. Silence clears the noise. Obedience moves you into alignment. Focus directs the power. These are not passive practices, they are spiritual disciplines. The world sees silence as weakness, obedience as control, and focus as rigidity. But the chosen ones understand that these are actually the tools of divine strategy. They are the technologies of the unseen realm. They are how the invisible becomes visible, how prayers become outcomes, and how destiny becomes reality. You are not being asked to isolate yourself for the sake of being alone. You are being invited to enter a sacred chamber where divine transformation takes place. This chamber is spiritual, but it is also mental and emotional. It is the internal sanctuary where the noise of the world cannot reach you, and the voice of truth becomes undeniable. When you obey the instruction to be still, to stay in, to focus your energy inward, you begin to hear instructions that others cannot hear. These are not external commands, they are internal downloads. Ideas, clarity, decisions, and directions begin to form without force. The fog that once clouded your judgment starts to lift. The confusion that kept you stagnant begins to fade. You begin to see what matters and what isn't. You realize how much of your life has been dictated by reactions to external pressures rather than internal convictions. This clarity does not come from the outside, it is born in silence, and it is protected by obedience, and it is sharpened through focus. This window of August 7th to 10th is not just about personal gain up, it's about spiritual preparation. Something is shifting not only within you but in the world around you. There are forces moving, transitions unfolding, and energies rearranging themselves to support your next level. But you must be properly aligned to receive, and alignment requires that you hear instructions, follow directions, and stay focused. The breakthrough is not random, it's strategic. It comes through precise alignment with divine flow. This flow cannot be accessed through busyness, overthinking, or emotional instability. It can only be accessed when you are grounded, centered, and spiritually alert. The reason for your quiet season is not punishment, it is positioning. You are being positioned to receive a level of clarity and opportunity that only comes to those who are fully present. Everything in the natural world obeys the seasons. Trees don't force their leaves to stay. Animals know when to migrate. The tides respond to the moon. But humans, often ruled by ego and emotion, resist the very rhythms designed to elevate them. The chosen ones, however, are being invited to realign. The silence is a season, the obedience is a surrender, the focus is an offering, and these things, when honored, open the way to miracles. The spiritual realm is not chaotic, it's intentional. It functions through principles, timing, and vibration. And right now, in this divine window, the vibration is being tuned for the chosen ones to receive, but only if they are silent enough to hear, obedient enough to act, and focused enough to stay in position. There will be temptations during this period, not just obvious ones, but subtle ones, as the urge to scroll endlessly, the pressure to respond to drama, the invitation to step back into old habits. These distractions don't always look evil, they often appear harmless, but they carry the power to disconnect you from alignment. That's why spiritual focus is so vital. It's not about rejecting everything, it's about discerning what deserves your energy. Every thought must be filtered, every decision must be intentional, every moment must be honored, because you're not just passing time, you're passing through a divine gate. What you carry into it, and how you carry yourself through it, determines what you carry out of it. You are in a season where your destiny is listening to your decisions. Your next level is waiting on your next move, and that move must be made in silence, with obedience, and through focus. The world may not understand, people may question, even your own mind might resist, but the ones who break through are not the ones who are loud, distracted, or impulsive. They are the ones who understand the value of stillness, the power of alignment, and the cost of divine elevation. As we draw this sacred message to a close, understand this: you are not being called into isolation for punishment, but for power. This specific window between August 7th to 10th, 2025, is more than just time. It is a divine opportunity, a supernatural moment carved out by the universe to awaken the fullness of your purpose, to unlock the next level of your destiny, and to prepare you for the blessings you've long prayed for. Silence is your strategy, obedience is your activation, focus is your weapon. The chosen ones are never called to fit in up, they're called to rise above, and this is that moment. Stay alone, stay aligned, stay obedient. The shift that's coming cannot be missed. This is your time. This is your final stretch before the breakthrough. Don't let the noise of the world rob you of what heaven has prepared for you. From my heart to yours, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking this journey seriously, and thank you for choosing to walk the path of divine discipline. I honor your spirit, your strength, and your purpose. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and never forget that you were chosen for such a time as this. Goodbye and God bless you. At Mayo Diaresis.